If you ask me, the most dangerous people in town are never the ones holding the weapons. They are the ones wearing the brightest, most comforting smile. We have all been conditioned to view Chase as the ultimate Boy Scout, the unwavering moral compass of the police department who always does the right thing. But I am looking at the pieces currently on the board, and I am telling you that we are witnessing the birth of a mastermind manipulator. The Golden Boy illusion is shattering, and beneath it lies a level of dark calculation that would make the most seasoned villains take notes. To understand this massive psychological shift, we have to look at the current chaotic landscape. Right now, Willow is drowning in a sea of manufactured evidence, falsely accused of a hit-and-run accident because Brooklyn orchestrated a ruthless framing plot. While Brooklyn scrambles to cover her tracks and protect her marriage, Chase has seemingly mounted his white horse, launching a passionate crusade to clear Willow of all charges. On the surface, it looks like a dedicated detective fighting for an innocent friend. But if we peel back that noble facade, this is not a story about justice. This is a story about a man using a crisis to cement a dark, unbreakable bond. Let us talk about the elephant in the room. The long-standing belief that Chase is infertile. For a man who desperately values family and biological legacy, being told he cannot have children is a psychologically devastating blow. But this is a world where shadow organizations possess medical technology that defies modern science. I strongly suspect that Chase did not just accept his diagnosis and move on. Instead, he quietly sought out a secret, highly classified doctor connected to the WSB to undergo an experimental, clandestine treatment for his infertility. He stepped out of the light and into the shadows to rewrite his biological destiny, and he did it without breathing a single word to anyone. This is exactly where it gets interesting, guys. Think about the sheer desperation required to seek out a rogue WSB physician. We have seen what happens when characters dabble with these shadow agencies. There is always a steep moral cost. By keeping this miraculous cure a complete secret, Chase immediately isolated himself in a web of lies. He is walking around town, letting his wife and his friends believe he is a man burdened by a tragic medical reality, all while secretly knowing he has been fully restored. That kind of massive secret breeds a dangerous God complex, a feeling that you are operating on a higher plane than everyone else around you. Now, let us connect this secret cure to the shocking, hidden intimacy that I believe recently transpired between Chase and Willow. Willow has been pushed to the absolute brink of her sanity. Between Tracy launching relentless verbal attacks, Drew circling like a predator, and the terrifying reality of facing prison time for a crime she did not commit, she is emotionally shattered. In her darkest hour, Chase was there, offering a shoulder to cry on and a shield against the world. I suspect that in a moment of overwhelming vulnerability and intense gratitude, Willow slept with Chase. She crossed that line because she felt a profound, albeit misplaced, sense of total safety. You have to understand Willow's fragile mindset in this hypothetical scenario. Why would she risk her life with Michael for a fleeting moment with Chase? Because she firmly believes that Chase is sterile. In her exhausted, traumatized mind, sleeping with him might have felt like an isolated bubble of comfort, a physical expression of gratitude that carried absolutely zero risk of a life-altering consequence like pregnancy. She thought she was safe. She thought she was in control of her own body. But she had no idea that she was walking into a biological trap set by a man who knew exactly what his body was now capable of doing. Look at how Chase has been acting lately as an anchor for this theory. He aggressively sparred with Justine in the interrogation room, risking his own career and a potential promotion just to fiercely defend Willow. He even jumped into a fountain to rescue her from a staged altercation with Tracy. This goes way beyond the duties of a standard police officer or even a good friend. This is the erratic behavior of a man who is deeply, obsessively invested in a woman. His relentless drive to prove Brooklyn is the real culprit is not just about upholding the law, it is about systematically tearing down the obstacles between him and Willow. He is isolating her so that he becomes her only savior. The most chilling aspect of this entire theory is the betrayal of consent. If Chase knew he was cured by the WSB doctor and still slept with Willow while allowing her to believe he was infertile, that is a profound, unforgivable violation. He stripped her of her bodily autonomy, He took away her ability to make an informed choice about her own reproductive health. This is not the action of a Boy Scout. This is the action of a predator who uses omission as a weapon. He let her feel safe in his arms, knowing full well that he was planting the seed for a permanent, inescapable connection. Now, I have to pause and ask myself, am I reading too much into this? Is it possible that Chase is simply a victim of his own overwhelming circumstances? Perhaps he sought the WSB treatment in a moment of sheer emotional desperation, and the subsequent romantic encounter with Willow was nothing more than an unplanned, passionate lapse in judgment driven by high stress. Maybe he is keeping quiet not out of malice, but out of a paralyzing fear that the truth will completely destroy his marriage to Brooke Lynn and ruin his standing in the department. If you ask me, looking at it from that softer angle, you could almost feel a shred of sympathy for a man trapped in a catastrophic web of his own making, terrified of the fallout. But then I look at the sheer calculation required to maintain this level of deception, and that sympathy evaporates instantly. Fear might excuse a day or two of silence, but it does not excuse a prolonged strategic cover-up. Chase is a highly trained investigator. He knows exactly how evidence, secrets, and timelines work. He knows that every day he stays silent, the lie grows stronger and more destructive. This is not panic. This is a deliberate, methodical choice to control the narrative. He is holding all the cards, watching everyone else scramble in the dark, and waiting for the inevitable biological ticking clock to strike. Which brings us to the impending fallout. In the coming weeks, as Michael and Willow settle into their life at the gatehouse, the physical signs will become impossible to ignore. Willow is going to start experiencing the undeniable symptoms of pregnancy. Given her absolute certainty about Chase's medical condition, her mind will naturally immediately jump to the only logical conclusion: Michael is the father. She will embrace this pregnancy as a beacon of hope, a fresh start for her family amidst all the legal chaos and corporate warfare. She will believe this child is a beautiful testament to her bond with Michael. Michael, of course, will be completely oblivious to the ticking time bomb growing in his own home. He will puff out his chest, stepping fully into the role of the protective patriarch. He will view this new baby as his ultimate triumph, a solidification of his legacy. He will coddle Willow, shield her from Tracy, and prepare the gatehouse for their growing family. The tragic irony is that Michael will be pouring all his love, resources, and protective instincts into a child that does not share a single drop of his blood. He will be building a fortress on a foundation of absolute sand. We only need to look at Michael's recent behavior to see how hard he will eventually fall. When Jacinda spiked Willow's drink, Michael erupted into a furious protective rage. He rushed to ensure Willow and the kids were safe, positioning himself as the ultimate impenetrable guardian of his family. He thrives on being the protector. So imagine the psychological devastation when he eventually learns that while he was busy fighting off external threats like Jacinda and Drew, the real threat had already bypassed his defenses and compromised his family from the inside out. His protective fury will turn into hollow, crushing despair. And what will Chase do while Willow's belly grows? I suspect he will do absolutely nothing. He will maintain his silence. He will play the supportive friend, offering congratulations and attending baby showers with a hidden, knowing smile. Why? Because Chase is playing a brilliant, twisted long game. Raising a newborn is exhausting. It is messy, loud, and fraught with the relentless drama of the family. By staying quiet, Chase allows Michael and Willow to do all the heavy lifting. They will endure the sleepless nights, the diaper changes, and the constant interference from Tracy. Chase gets to outsource the hardest parts of early parenthood to the very man he is deceiving. We can see the roots of this strategy in how Chase currently navigates his life with Brooke Lynn and baby Phoebe. Brooke Lynn recently guilt-tripped him into spending more time with Phoebe, forcing him to play the role of the devoted family man. Chase is learning exactly how exhausting and demanding the family dynamic can be. He is taking note. By letting Michael absorb the chaos of a new baby at the gatehouse, Chase preserves his own freedom and his pristine public image, all while secretly knowing that the ultimate prize is already secured. But the truth always comes out, and when it does, it will be on Chase's terms. I firmly believe that once the child is born and safely past the fragile newborn stage, Chase will execute his final devastating move. He will secretly obtain a DNA sample and run a paternity test. He will not do this to clear his conscience. He will do it to legally weaponize the truth. Armed with undeniable biological proof, he will step out of the shadows and drop the ultimate bomb on the gatehouse, demanding full custody of his biological child. He will rip the rug out from under Michael and Willow with clinical, terrifying precision. The psychological carnage of this revelation will be unprecedented. Willow, who has fought so hard to build a stable life, will realize that her entire existence is a carefully constructed lie. She will have to face the horrifying reality that the man she trusted, the man who saved her from Tracy and defended her against Justine, was actually her greatest abuser. She will be shattered by the realization that her gratitude was weaponized against her. And Michael, the proud protector, will be reduced to a bystander in his own home, forced to hand over the child he loved and raised to the man he considered an ally. As we watch Chase continue to wear his badge and play the hero, we have to ask ourselves what true villainy looks like. It is not always a mobster with a gun or a spy with a poisonous vial. Sometimes it is a man with a gentle smile and a sympathetic ear, quietly manipulating the very fabric of life and family to serve his own hidden desires. The story of Chase, Willow, and Michael is no longer a tale of justice and romance. It is a dark psychological thriller about control, deception, and the terrifying lengths a man will go to claim what he believes is his. And honestly, this is where it gets absolutely fascinating.
Goodbye. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the GH Spoilers Daily channel.